Flooded and powerless. New tonight on Our News, live at 7. Wet weather wreaking havoc on parts of Bimini. Our Bethany McDermott is there live for us tonight. Plus, the Commissioner of Police addresses that boating tragedy on Paradise Island where a 75-year-old Colorado woman lost her life. The Commissioner says she didn't drown. This as the police chief says murders are down 16%. Then in Our News, live at 7:30. Wild weather also impacting schools in the northern Bahamas. Education officials on Grand Bahama say schools may have been closed, but learning did not stop. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. Bimini residents left in the dark and forced to walk through inches of water after hours of nonstop rain left the island severely flooded. The wet weather impacting schools, power supply, and travel. Our Bethany McDermott, who is still in Bimini tonight, joins us live with the details. Bethany?
Yes, Kendino, as you know, my cameraman and I were set to leave Bimini to return to the capital today, but that didn't happen after our airline canceled the flights. Kendino, the flooding today putting Biminites in a pretty tough situation. As you can see behind me, this major roadway still flooded. Officials erecting barricades at both ends of the road to prevent motorists from coming through and causing damages to their vehicles.
Torrential showers throughout the night into Thursday morning, leaving the majority of North Bimini underwater and in the dark. Bahamas Power and Light telling consumers here that a damaged breaker is the cause of the issue, but that teams were out working to restore power. Island Administrator Eva K. Arthur conducted an assessment of the island.
A lot of debris, a lot of fallen down trees, and a lot of flooding. Most of the homes, is like roof damages, shingles have fallen off. There was one gentleman that a tree fell on his house, but that has since been removed, and he now has a tarp over where the tree is fallen.
Arthur says Biminites are being proactive and have already started the cleanup process themselves. We came across this Good Samaritan who started pumping water out of the street early this morning. He says it's usually a 3-hour process.
Normally after we have like a lot of rain, I normally bring my pump out and just volunteer and try to get the roadway clear. Not at my house, but I have a barge down at the dock. I had some water down there, so I was out from 6 o'clock pumping.
We then saw this man who was trying to get to work but couldn't get by.
Guess I gotta go call work and see what's happening, what they can try to do from here. I know I can get across.
As we traversed the island today, some roads were impassable for small vehicles. Along the roadsides were downed election signs and trees. But it wasn't enough to stop this man who rode his bike through the floodwaters.
I'm a waker. Wake don't bother me. Wake like drinking tea, a cup of tea.
Residents say instances like this emphasize the need for proper drainage around the island.
Yeah, we definitely need some new drains there.
Proper drainage and more mental work
To get it
done. Well, we're going to get it clean up.
Kendino, what we can tell you is that power was restored to some residents here in Bimini shortly before 4 p.m. this afternoon. Students are expected to be back in the classroom tomorrow, and it is hoped that this water will go down by morning to allow cars to continue to pass through. But for now, reporting live from Bimini, I'm Bethany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Kendino.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Bethany, and really happy to hear that those residents have gotten power restored. Now, we are also following wild weather over on Grand Bahama as schools closed in the northern Bahamas. Our Megan Shepard, she's got that story coming up in Our News at 7:30. And speaking of wild weather, a little later, our sustainability first segment is back with how to stay prepared as hurricane season wraps up. And now to this. The police commissioner telling the press an autopsy performed on the 75-year-old Colorado woman who died after a double-deck ferry from Blue Lagoon Island sank on Tuesday reveals she did not drown. As for what killed her, he declined to say.
I can assure you that it's not as a result of drowning. It's not as a result of drowning. We want to respect the family at this time, but I've already met with the investigators from our side of the fence, along with the Port Department and the Maritime investigators. We are working this as a team, along with the U.S. Embassy. They are on board as well.
And a one-legged man accused of a 2022 double murder will remain behind bars after a judge denied him bail. Prosecutors say Raphael McKinney fatally shot Roige Bryan and Dalton Brennan on March 13th at Thompson Lane. Justice Gregory Hilton rejected McKinney's bail bid today. McKinney has been in custody since March 21st last year when he was charged with the murders. And the commissioner also reporting tonight that the murder count is trending down. Fernando telling us the rate decreased by 16% so far this year when compared to the same period last year. He also points out that people on bail continue to be killed, saying gangsters are, quote, pimping on each other. Joshua Williams has the breakdown.
Statistically, our streets are safer, according to Police Commissioner Clayton Fernando, as major crimes, including murder, are down when compared to this same period last year. Fernando says there's a double-digit decrease.
At this present time, the murder count stands at 92. I don't like to count murders. One murder is too much, but this compare with last year at this very time, it was 110 last year. So you could see that the murder count is trending down.
He's crediting their three-pronged plan for the decrease in murders. It includes operations like ceasefire, secure city, and saturation patrols. The commissioner is also pleased with how many crimes he says his officers are solving.
If you look at our solvency rate thus far for the year, it's in the high 60s. So the detectives and the officers are doing their jobs and finding these individuals and clearing these matters in a timely manner.
Now, despite a trend in the right direction, there still is a concern for repeat offenders that are released on bail.
Days later, weeks later, these same individuals are back out there in their old ways and end up dead. We are losing too much our young men on both sides of the coins as victims and the accused persons.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Josh. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, wet weather across the northern Bahamas. We saw from Bethany McDermott his reporting in Bimini earlier on the situation there. And I know, Megan, she's got more coming up from Grand Bahama. But what are we looking at weather-wise? I know that there may have been some alerts issued.
Yeah, the first alert, that system that we were watching in the southwestern Caribbean.
Yeah.
That's been upgraded to potential tropical cyclone 22.
It's so late in the season.
We still have about a little over a week or two left in the hurricane season, so it's not quite over. And
for sure. I mean, with this weather we see today, I mean.
Yeah. Well, the northern Bahamas is going to get away from some of this. Southern Bahamas is going to get theirs by the end of the week. But yeah, we want people down there to be prepared for this, as it's expected to be a named system by tomorrow. 80 degrees outside our studios right now, though. It's humid, partly cloudy skies. Some showers light showers out there nearby. South winds at 14 miles per hour. Those winds have come down quite nicely, and it's still a bit on the breezy side, but it feels like 79 degrees on the outside. Temperature-wise, it's 76 in Freeport, as well as in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, and in Great Harbour Key. Alistown, Bimini, 80. Nicholstown, Andros, 79. Governor Samba, you guys, is 77. Central Bahamas, we have 79 in Kemps Bay, as well as Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, 75, and a pair of 82s in Georgetown and Deadman's Key. And down the deep south, 83 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, and in Matthewtown, Inagua, 82s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay. You guys have some showers nearby. Abrahams Bay, as well as Turks and Caicos Island property in Chialas. Satellite and radar composite showing what was happening across West Bahamas. Low pressure system that developed just to the west of Bimini. Now to the north of Grand Bahama, most of the weather is now pulling north. We have some dry air mass moving in behind that low. So northern Bahamas seeing a little bit of a break with that weather we've been having for the last day or so. But look down south, a lot of weather coming up from the south. That is potential tropical cyclone number 22, and the track is going to keep this system more in a northeasterly fashion. By Saturday, we expect the system to be across the southeast Bahamas, so we're imploring you to continue to monitor the progress of the system. Alerts have now been issued for the southeast Bahamas as well as Turks and Caicos Islands. We're asking residents central Bahamas to continue to monitor the progress of this system. We'll tell you more about that later on in the forecast and an extended forecast.
Still to come on our news, the former chairman of the water company, Sylvanus Petty, back in the news tonight. The acting press secretary addressing his resignation over a conflict of interest, saying there's no tolerance for such conduct. And the former Deputy Prime Minister calling out the government and port officials on Grand Bahama. He says stop the back and forth and focus on fulfilling promises. And the legacy of Alma Adams honored in the Senate today. The president saying she made stellar contributions to the country. When Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
Stay with the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
One day after it was revealed North Eleuthera MP Sylvanus Petty resigned as executive chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation, acting press secretary Keishla Smith Adderley says the Davis administration moved swiftly to handle the situation. Petty's resignation came less than a week after a revelation in court that his daughter had a contract with the corporation. Petty was appointed executive chairman of WSC in December 2021, but it was revealed during testimony in the Adrian Gibson corruption trial that Petty's daughter was awarded a $26,000 contract by the water company. Here's Smith Adderley addressing the situation.
Well, the government moved very quickly, as you saw this week, to take action to investigate the matter from the end of the Water and Sewage Corporation, to speak with Mr. Petty and make sure that there was a fair hearing. If there are further allegations or questions, I expect that they'll be investigated in like manner. But it is clear that through the actions that were taken of the Davis administration, the request and acceptance of Mr. Petty's resignation, that there is intolerance for such conduct.
Former Deputy Prime Minister K. Peter Turnquest says government needs to shy away from back and forth rows with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Turnquest says the Davis administration should be focusing on making good on its promises to help boost Grand Bahama's economy, which has been in a slump for years. He says the Port Authority should be allowed to operate within its power but notes the government still has a role to play.
When I hear these statements about what the Port Authority isn't doing, the question that comes to my mind is, well, what is the government doing? Because the government has responsibility and has opportunity. If you were to look at the infrastructure here, you were to look at the assets that are available, the natural assets that are available to our government and to the people, to develop these areas independent of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and take control of the island from an economic point of view.
The former East Grand Bahama Member of Parliament added that once Grand Bahamians are provided opportunities, they'll take advantage of them and the economy will turn around for the better.
We need to focus on what is important, focus on providing for the needs of the citizens here on this island, and as long as we provide them with opportunity, I'm sure Grand Bahamians will take it the rest of the way.
Former Senator Alma Adams was remembered as a woman who loved to serve her country. Adams died earlier this month at the age of 74. The body of the former diplomat lies in state today in the foyer of the Senate, where family members, politicians, judicial officers, and members of the public were able to pay their respects. Senate President Lachelle Adderley listing the many ways Adams impacted the Bahamas.
Alma Adams made stellar contributions to the length and breadth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Firstly, she was a senator. Secondly, she was a diplomat, having served in both Miami and Cuba. Thirdly, she was an educator. And fourthly, she was a stellar mentor. As a senator, she made exceptional contributions on policy and the betterment of the Bahamian people.
Adams served in the Senate from 1987 to 1992. She was Consul General in Miami, Florida for the Bahamas from 2002 to 2008. She was also the Bahamas ambassador to Cuba from 2012 to 2017. Adderley says it wasn't just what she did, it was who she was that made an impact.
She was a woman of integrity, character. She believed in mentoring others. She was the type of woman who would always extend the ladder down and she left the door open for other women to come through. In particular, she had a passion for mentoring women and in politics, in government, and also the language that she taught, Spanish. So once again, she was an exemplary educator. So I believe that Alma Adams is one of those women who, from the Bahamas, who died empty because she believed in dedicated service and commitment.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Hamas says no agreement has been reached on hostages in the conflict with Israel. Plus, U.S. and China meet a year after their last meeting amid disputes over military and economic issues. And from the region, movement on help for Haiti as Kenya's parliament backs a police mission despite an ongoing court case. When our news returns.
Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
Stay with the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Introducing
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Negotiations over hostages have not reached an agreement, but have not yet failed. A representative from the Hamas political office in Doha says Qatari efforts are still ongoing. The deal includes 50 Israeli and foreign captives in exchange for a number of Palestinian women and children, a ceasefire of either 3 or 5 days, and humanitarian aid into all of Gaza without exceptions. It would mark the biggest release in hostages held by Hamas since the Palestinian militant group burst over the Gaza border, attacked parts of Israel, and took hostages into the enclave. Hamas has agreed to the general outlines of this deal, but Israel, which has since bombarded and sent forces into Gaza, has not and is still negotiating the details. U.S. President Joe Biden met Chinese leader Xi Jinping for the first time in a year on Wednesday for talks that may ease friction between the two superpowers over military conflicts, drug trafficking, and artificial intelligence. Biden welcomed the Chinese leader at an estate south of San Francisco, where they will move later for a summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. In opening remarks, Biden said the U.S. and China had to ensure that competition between them does not veer into conflict and manage their relationship responsibly. Xi called the U.S.-China relationship the most important bilateral relationship in the world and said he and Biden shoulder heavy responsibilities for two peoples, for the world, and for history. And Kenya's parliament has approved a controversial plan by the government to deploy about 1,000 police officers to Haiti to help stop gang violence. This is despite a court order barring any deployment pending the outcome of a legal challenge into the plan. Opposition lawmakers condemned the vote, but the ruling party used its majority to back the government following a fiery debate. Haiti had appealed for international help to tackle growing lawlessness. About 300 gangs are active across Haiti, and 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, is still under gang control. All right, many of us have started thinking about the holiday season, but nature has been quick to remind us that it's still hurricane season. How do the two connect? Marlena Leonard has more in tonight's Sustainability First report.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
There are just 2 weeks left in the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, and yet we're still dealing with 2 tropical disturbances in our area. One to the south of the Bahamas, showing itself to have more than a 60% chance of becoming a cyclone in the next 7 days. Just last year, we saw Hurricane Nicole make landfall in November, a reminder to stay prepared, even outside of the peak season. So far this season, we've had 20 tropical systems develop in the Atlantic, and while that's not the highest on record, we have had some record-breaking numbers this year in other concerning areas. Ocean surface temperatures in Florida read as 101 degrees Fahrenheit this August. And as we know, warm waters are often the fuel to the fire that creates stronger, rapidly intensifying hurricanes. So what can we do? Stay properly prepared until the end of hurricane season. Make a year-round effort to reduce your carbon footprint by carpooling or using public transport when possible. Be mindful of your household's energy consumption. Switching to LED bulbs and energy-efficient alternatives can help make a difference, not only to the environment, but also for your power bill. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was November 16th. And then in our news at 7:30, the parents of that dead toddler found in bushes in Fox Hill now in custody. The commissioner shares more details about the pair. Plus, the trial of North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish set for May 2024. The story when our news returns.
Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
stay with the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
Welcome back to Our News. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was November 16th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history in 1891, Alfred Francis Adderley was born in Nassau. Adderley was a church and community leader, lawyer, politician, and statesman. He was the third member of the Adderley family to be elected to the House of Assembly. In 1935, Adderley served as the legal advisor to the House of Assembly for 3 years. In 1951, he became the first black Chief Justice of the Bahamas. And in 1950, Peter John Bethel was born in Nassau. Bethel was a doctor, baseball player, politician, and cabinet minister. In 1981, Bethel entered politics and was nominated by the Progressive Liberal Party to run for the St. John's constituency in Eleuthera. He won the seat the following year and represented St. John's from 1982 to 1987. In the 1987 election, he was defeated but was elected leader of government business in the Senate. In 1991, he won a by-election for the vacant Anglerston seat and represented the constituency until 1997, when he retired from politics. As a cabinet minister, he served in numerous roles, including parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Local Government, as well as Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs. He was also instrumental in developing and launching the Bahamas Games in 1989. Bethel died on July 23, 2000. He was 51. All right, if you want to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, remember you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us at News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia?
Yes, Ken, happy Thursday. Oh, wet Thursday.
One more day to Friday.
One more day to Friday.
One more day to Friday and then the weekend.
Yes, for sure. Thanks so
and
much.
Hopefully
Ken.
this weather is
I pray.
out of here by
I
then.
pray.
I'm still thinking
because
about
today was a
people in
tough
Bimini
one.
And Grand Bahama, and I know you got more coming up. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Well, the parents of that toddler found in bushes in Fox Hill now in custody, plus the trial of North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish set for early next year. Here are your latest headlines. Wild weather first tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Severe weather conditions in the northern Bahamas forcing schools to keep their doors closed. This as operations at the Linden Pinland International Airport appeared to flow smoothly. We speak with a NAD executive. Plus, a mother and father of a 2-year-old in custody tonight. We have new details coming up. And later, a trial date officially set for Abaco MP Kirk Cornish. We have that story coming up when Our News Live at 7:30 returns. I wish over 5,500 voters
Headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
stay with the team you already trust.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Have you heard that sound? It's the sound of us. Since our origins, we burst music. Our sounds mix together. So let us hear your sound too. Your sound of passion, of joy, of friendship. The sound of your style and the beat of your night. It's time to play together the sound of Guinness, the sounds of greatness.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play.
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Italia Hall. Heavy rains and gusty winds impacting schools in the northern Bahamas today, particularly on Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco. Education officials on Grand Bahama telling our Megan Shepherd that although schools were closed for the day, their learning did not stop.
The announcement of the closure of schools on Grand Bahama and Bimini was issued early Thursday morning as inclement weather impacted parts of the country. Acting Deputy Director of Education, Michelle Boleg, says the ministry's top priority is always safety.
Not just our students, but certainly our teachers and other administrative staff, our support staff. It's important that they're all safe. And because of the weather, a lot of rain, flooding, gust of wind, we thought it best, like I said, safety first.
And as it relates to the reopening of schools on Friday,
It is expected that the weather will and the wind will subside. However, if it does not, then it means that another announcement will go out. But for now, school in our district is closed for just today.
District Superintendent of Education for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys, Ivan Butler, noting that although the pandemic has ended, there are schools that still use the ministry's virtual MLS platform. He is encouraging parents, teachers, and students to utilize it during the school closures.
This is a day off from school, but another day off from work. And so we ask our teachers to provide work and use our learning management system for our students to be engaged today in their educational activities. And so we are convinced and we are pleased that some of our students are working even though they are not presently in school.
He is also thanking their union partners for their collaboration. Other islands impacted by the closures include Eleuthera, Cat Island, Long Island, and Exuma. Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks for that, Megan. Now, not only did Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini experience severe weather conditions, here in the capital, we saw some heavy rain showers causing some localized flooding as well. We understand that there were also some flight delays and cancellations at the Lyndon Pinlane International Airport. We spoke with Vice President of Operations at the Nassau Airport Development Company, Jonathan Hanna, who says despite the inclement weather conditions, things operated smoothly at LPIA.
We have had some weather pass through, but it's been very quick rain showers that hasn't lasted more than maybe 15 or 20 minutes at times. So flights continue to operate in and out of the capital with no significant delays to speak of, with the exception of 1 or 2 flights that have been operating into some of the northern family of islands, such as Marsh Harbor, Grand Bahama, and Bimini.
And now to an update on that tragic story that unfolded Tuesday night. A little boy who was found dead in bushes in Fox Hill. It turns out the 2-year-old's parents are in police custody. That's according to Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez, who had a lot to say about the pair.
We are working this along with social service as well, because there's 4 other young kids living at that residence. And I don't feel, based on what I've seen and what was brought to my attention, the parents are not fit to keep these individuals, these children. So that's why social service on board, and they will do their investigation and they will determine whether the parents should remain, the kids remain with the parents.
Well, the police commissioner is also weighing in on a Canadian court's conviction of former fashion designer Peter Nygaard. Nygaard, who was once a fashion mogul, held political and cultural sway in the Bahamas. As a longtime Lyford Key resident, was convicted of sexual assault in Toronto. He's facing criminal charges in other Canadian jurisdictions and will then be extradited to New York to face sex trafficking and other charges. Former Police Commissioner Paul Roll had said in July 2019 that an investigation was launched into sexual abuse claims against Nygaard, but charges have never been filed. The current police commissioner was asked about Nygaard's current legal issues. While Fernandez is pleased with the conviction, he applauds the victims who came forward.
He is where he belongs. I support the victims in those matters with him. I support the victims 100%, and I must applaud those victims for those who were afraid to come forth, who was afraid to come forth to make a complaint.
All right, well, Justice Renee McKay set a May 29, 2024 trial date for North Abaco Member of Parliament Kirk Cornish. 48-year-old Cornish is accused of raping, threatening to kill, and assaulting a 35-year-old woman. He was formally charged with the offenses on August 9th, the day after he resigned as parliamentary secretary. Prosecutors allege the crimes took place in Cooperstown, Abaco, and in Nassau, New Providence between January 20th, 2023 and April 4th, 2023. Extremely wet weather conditions around the islands today, especially in the northern Bahamas. And I understand that we may have to be on alert for some more severe weather this weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with a first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, one is moving out The other one is coming up from the southwest. So yeah, southeast Bahamas, you guys are under an alert right now. The Bahamas Department of Meteorology has issued an alert for that area. There's a potential tropical cyclone 22, and it's expected to further strengthen tomorrow to possibly Vince. So we will continue to tell you a little about that more in the forecast. 79 degrees outside right now, though. Under partly cloudy skies, we are clearing out across the northwest Bahamas. South winds at 40 miles per hour, still on the breezy side, but much less winds tonight, and it feels like 81 degrees. Satellite and radar composite showing the clearing across portions of the northwest Bahamas. Grand Bahama, you're still getting some showers and some thunderstorms, but the activity will continue to pull towards the north as that upper level system pulls out towards the north and east and away from us. But to the south, we are starting to see that moisture plume coming up from that tropical disturbance, and that will continue to affect the central and southeast Bahamas, bit, as I mentioned, the southeast Bahamas as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands under a tropical cyclone alert. So we'll tell you more about that later in the extended forecast.
Still to come on our news, Long Island seeing a surge in tourist arrivals. The tourism minister explains the numbers have reached pre-pandemic levels. Plus, driving tech tourism in the Bahamian market. We'll tell you about the partnership the Ministry of Tourism is embarking on. And later, the AML group of companies giving back in a big way this Yuletide season. We'll tell you the 5,000 mouths the company wants to feed when our news returns. Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
stay with the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead with Cable.
Long Island has seen a surge in visitors. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper revealing as much as he delivered the keynote address at Long Island's Business Outlook this morning. Cooper says the numbers are soaring and gave this breakdown.
In the first 9 months of 2023, Long Island welcomes an historic number of foreign air arrivals, soaring to 1,858 arrivals of visitors by air, an achievement that propels you amongst the family islands witnessing unprecedented air traffic. The average length of stay stands at a commendable 8.7 nights, which is slightly higher than the overall average across the islands of the Bahamas, signifying the island's allure for extended visits.
Cooper also giving an update on the multi-million-dollar upgrade to Long Island's airport. The acting prime minister says while it appears things are moving slowly, work is being done to ensure it becomes a reality.
We can ensure that Long Island's airport upgrades are not only efficient, aesthetically in line with the island's environment. We already know how to build airports, how to build an airport with this design, and how to open the airport on a realistic timeline and a realistic budget. By using this model, by accepting this design that we will share with stakeholders shortly, we anticipate that if we are able to do this successfully with the cooperation of local stakeholders, we anticipate being able to launch hopefully by the end of the second quarter in 2024.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation partnering with the American Coalition Black Innovation Alliance to create initiatives and programs to drive tech tourism and sustainable tourism in the Bahamian market. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism and Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper.
This MOU aligns well with the government's Innovate 242 initiative, led by my colleague, Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, who heads the Cabinet Subcommittee to establish the Bahamas as the center of innovation, not just for the Bahamas, but for the Caribbean region as well. The ecosystem aims to provide capacity-building resources to Bahamian innovators and entrepreneurs, cultivating a culture of innovation for the future. It aligns with BIA's Decade of Black Innovation. This partnership extends beyond borders to connect the African diaspora for business innovation and commerce.
On their website, the Black Innovation Alliance's manifesto pledges to recruit at least 500 organizations to support, fund, and sustain 1 million Black innovators in the next 10 years. As for here in the Bahamas, Cooper says the opportunities will be extended to all Bahamians.
Will be able to be accessed by all Bahamians. As you well know, and I spoke extensively during my convention speech last week, I know you listened, this is a government of inclusion, and we are the government of all Bahamians, Black Bahamians, white Bahamians, mulatto Bahamians, and everyone in between. We represent the entirety of the country, Nassau, Grand Bahama, and all of the family islands. As you well know, the Prime Minister is from Cat Island. I am from Exuma. We will do nothing unless the family islands are included.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, the AML group of companies giving back to those in need this Christmas will tell you their effort to feed 5,000.
We talked to one of the best players in Canadian college baseball, and Ole Miss makes easy work of Temple. Don't go anywhere, our sports is coming up next.
And wet weather around the islands today. What else can we expect for the rest of the work week? Greg is back with your extended forecast right after this break. Stay with us. Over 5,500 voters
headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
Stay with the team you already trust.
technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work,
This is our news. Welcome back. We sit down for an exclusive interview with a baseball MVP at Ontario College. And Coach Yo and the Rebels take on Temple University. Here's Tage Adderley with a check on sports. Tage?
Thanks, Talia. Good evening. Welcome to Our Sports. I'm Tage Adderley. Owen Taylor's dominated Ontario College baseball in 3 seasons with the University of Toronto Varsity Blues, culminating in him winning the conference championship and an MVP award. We had the exclusive chance to talk to him about his experience.
Yeah, so it was definitely not the most conventional approach I had. I left Nassau when I was 15 and I went to a school in the States for a few years to pursue baseball, a really competitive prep school. And then the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and that kind of messed up recruiting in terms of, getting scouted by these American universities.
That's Owen Taylor, one of the best players in Canadian college baseball, explaining how he ended up at the University of Toronto. He recently led his team to an Ontario University Athletics title, hitting a double for the go-ahead RBI in the title game, and coming in to pitch a perfect ninth inning, striking out 2 to lock up the championship for his team. Before he's winning a title for UT, he was a freshman transitioning from rural Pennsylvania to the big city in Toronto.
The pace of the city, like everyone's always in a hurry, and that's very different than kind of that, laid back traditional lifestyle in Nassau where we kind of move at our own pace. Here, everyone has a purpose when they move in.
Moving things over to the hardwood, Coach Rolette McPhee-McEwen and the Ole Miss Rebels played the Temple Owls last night. Coach Rolette McPhee-McEwen got a decisive win over the Temple Owls last night, beating them 89-73. KK Deans had a near triple-double for the Rebels with 16.7 rebounds and 8 assists. Carissa Richardson added 16 points to help the Rebels get the win. The game was never in doubt as the Rebels jumped out to an 11-point lead to end the first quarter, and they never looked back. Coach Yo and the Rebels' next game will be at the Battle for Atlantis against Howard University on Saturday. We'll definitely be there to cover that. That's all for sports today. I'm Tage Adderley.
Still ahead on our news tonight, AML aiming to feed some 5,000 people this holiday season, and they're asking for your help. We'll tell you how straight ahead. And later, wild weather in the capital causing flooding. Hopefully things clear up soon. Greg is back with your weather details when our news returns. Over 5,500 voters
Headed to over a dozen polling divisions.
On 2 islands covered by one network.
Join the RTV network starting at 6 p.m. Wednesday, November 22nd.
For the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election results.
stay with the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Over
Embrace technology.
Welcome back to our news. Severe weather conditions in the northern Bahamas continuing this evening while things have started to clear up here in the capital. Wondering what else is to come? Well, Greg is back in the Weather Center live with your extended forecast. Greg?
Yeah, we are clearing up across the northwest Bahamas as we speak. Showers and thunderstorms still affecting the Grand Bahama area, but most of that will be pulling out as a low pressure system to the north and the upper level support pulls out and away from us. Most of the clouds and the activity now into the open Atlantic, and we have some dry air mass moving in on the backside of that low. So the northern islands seeing some improvement. The winds are coming down, but we are watching down near the southwest Caribbean, potential tropical cyclone 22 that was formed this afternoon. The National Hurricane Center likely expecting the system to form further. And if it does, by tomorrow, expect to become a tropical storm. It will be named Vince. The track is going to continue towards the north and east, should be moving across the southeast Bahamas by Saturday, and the forecast track showing things, how that will be progressing over the next several days. The fortunate thing for us is the upper level support that was with the low to the north of us, that's going to quickly swing this system out towards the north and east. So by Sunday, it's almost near the south of Bermuda. But Saturday, we're looking for tropical storm conditions. We're asking residents of southeast Bahamas, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands, to prepare for tropical storm conditions, as the system is expected to be in your vicinity over the next 24 to 48 hours. Widespread showers and thunderstorms expected. The central Bahamas could get some showers out of that as well. But we expect very rough surf. Boaters in the southeast Bahamas, we ask you to remain in port as the system moves in your general vicinity. Small craft advisory still in effect for the northwest Bahamas with the low pressure system. The winds will be out of the south to southwest, 15 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 7 feet, but they will be up to 10 feet along Atlantic exposures. High tide will be at 9:47 tonight. Low tide at 3:48 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place. Southeast to south winds at 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, showers in the forecast Friday and Saturday, with that system moving in our general direction. But by Sunday into early next week, we expect conditions to be improving. Nice cool air mass moving in, and it's going to look good. Back to you, Talia.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, AML Foods Limited launching its annual Feed 5,000 holiday feeding program. The goal to once again provide meals to thousands of families in need this holiday season. From November 6 to December 16, 2023, they are inviting their team members, corporate Bahamas, and customers to support the program by purchasing or donating towards the purchase of a Christmas meal package.
AML has committed $20,000 to provide nutritious meals for those in need during the holidays, and along with your gift of any amount, we're aiming to feed these families in need. Organizations, civic groups, or private citizens wanting to support the Feed 5,000 program and help make the holidays a little brighter for Bahamian families in need.
Grant says each package is valued at $50 and donations can be made at the register in any Solomon's Fresh Market, Cosrite, Exuma Markets, or Domino's location in New Providence, Grand Bahama, or Georgetown, Exuma. As in previous years, AML Foods Limited has partnered with the Bahamas Feeding Network, the Grand Bahama branch of the Red Cross, and the One Exuma Foundation.
The program has successfully raised and distributed more than $500,000 in food vouchers, feeding more than 70,000 Bahamians. We're grateful to all those who have donated in the past and hope to receive your support again this year.
All right, and with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. On the Record with Jerome Sawyer starts now.
With the advanced poll behind us, we are less than 1 week away from the much-anticipated by-election. We've brought you up to speed with the history and the campaign trail to this point. Tonight, we're challenging the status quo, redefining the narrative of political campaigns as we sit down with the contenders vying for your votes in the upcoming by-election. Welcome to On the Record. Traditionally, campaigning is often about promises and policies, about the big picture that's painted in broad strokes. But what about the individuals behind the podiums? Who are they when the speeches end, the cameras fade, and the crowds disperse? Tonight, we embark on a journey to uncover the essence of these candidates. We'll be sitting down with each candidate, not just to discuss their manifestos, but to delve into the very core of who they are. What experiences have shaped them? What values guide their decisions? In a world of polished rhetoric and rehearsed answers, we aim to strip away the layers and bring you the unfiltered truth. Join us as we go beyond the campaign slogans beyond the photo ops and into the hearts and minds of those who seek to lead us forward. Welcome to On the Record. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer.